What's going on, everyone? Jerry here from the Quarter. I've got a full day of videos and also probably a little super Saturday live stream this afternoon. I'm probably only stream for an hour or so, but I wanted to check in with everybody. We've got kind of Elon's first gaffe at Twitter. I've been kind of on record concerned about this paying for a blue checkmark thing and how it could be potentially damaging. And we've already had a slew of accounts that apparently losing $8 just wasn't enough to stop them from for them to risking permanent ban. And there was some serious damage done. So Twitter blue checkmark now unavailable after imposters accounts essentially erupt on the platform, including one that allegedly led to a many billion-dollar loss from an insulin company. Now, there's a little bit more to the insulin story, but Twitter pauses paid verifications after users abuse the service to impersonate brands and people. Twitter appears to have paused its $7.99 a month blue subscription service, which allowed people to pay for a verification checkmark after users were abusing it to impersonate brands and famous people. Twitter launched the service earlier this week. I don't know, maybe just make the checkmark a different color. You know, maybe make the checkmark a different color, or like, I don't know, make it, just give them access to the verified tab and have a different color, or else, something like that. He's going to have to do that. I think he was just wrong about that. He's going to have to, because maybe he could raise the price, make you pay for the year up front, and it will cost $90 to get suspended off Twitter. I don't know. Twitter launched the service earlier this week on its iPhone app, allowing users to buy the checkmark that had previously been used to show that an account was verified or official. As of Friday, the iPhone app no longer shows the option to sign up for Twitter Blue. The quick suspension of the service suggests that, at least currently, CEO Elon Musk's big plan to generate new revenue from users isn't working as expected. The paid subscription service led to a plethora of pranksters creating imposter accounts on Twitter. It left the platform even more ripe for misinformation, and many cheaply acquired checkmarks were used to impersonate brands, politicians, and celebrities with unflattering messages. One current sales Twitter employee said that the company decided to pull back on Twitter Blue verification in response to the current spat of impersonators. Now, I don't know, like, this was just bad. Like, I'm surprised he didn't see this coming. Like, $8 is really not a big deal, to waste on a meme. But he ends up pausing it. The employee, who asked to remain unnamed since they were not authorized to speak on behalf of Twitter, said that one account resembling a pharmaceutical giant, Eli Lilly, caused a serious problem when it tweeted out, "We are excited to announce that insulin is free now." I mean, you'd have to be a moron to believe that, but apparently there were a ton of morons. In fact, it hurt like the entire industry. We're going to get into that. Eli's stock price dropped sharply after the false message was posted, and so did other pharmaceutical companies, including AbbVie, which also was impersonated on Twitter. At the time, major stock indices were positive amidst a market rally. Good. Am I supposed to feel bad that pharmaceutical companies lost money? Because I don't. Just don't. An impersonator also pilloried Tesla, Elon Musk's electric car maker, using the paid subscriber blue checkmark. An account with the handle that appeared at Tesla Real wrote a flurry of disparaging tweets, one of which said, "Honestly, a 53% drop in stock price doesn't faze us. If there's anyone who knows about crashing, it's us." Yeah, the stock price going down is more complex than you might think. The idea that, they'll probably do a stock buyback, I'm assuming, in the near future. But yeah, Tesla stock is definitely down. There are a lot of people, investors, that didn't like that Elon spent a bunch of money on Twitter, and they took it out on the Tesla stock because he would be leveraged so heavily to own Twitter. The effect of so many changes on the Twitter platform presents a big problem for advertisers, some of which have already paused advertising there. Nobody really significant. Additionally, some users who already pay for the service said their recently acquired blue checkmarks have disappeared from their accounts. A Twitter spokesperson was not immediately available for comment. Musk was not immediately also available. The rollback of Twitter Blue verified comes at a time when Musk and Alex Spiro, who's acting as Twitter's top lawyer now, are working to reassure employees, advertisers, and regulators that they will comply with all laws and terms of prior FTC consent decree. I mean, I don't know why anyone would think that they wouldn't. It's such a weird thing. Elon Musk wrote in a company-wide email obtained by CNBC on Thursday that I cannot emphasize enough that Twitter will do whatever it takes to adhere to both the letter and the spirit of the FTC consent decree. Anything you read to the contrary is absolutely false. The same goes for any other government regulatory matters where Twitter operates. Spiro said in another email that followed up with his team that he had spoken with the FTC regulators on Thursday and that Twitter had its first upcoming compliance check with the agency soon. He emphasized that Twitter itself, not individuals who work for Twitter, would be held liable for any violations. As NBC previously reported, an exodus of Twitter executives since Musk took over has included the departure of the company's head, trust and safety, Yoel Roth, good, a chief information security officer, Leah Kesner, fine, among many others involved in the infrastructure of trust and safety. Now, of course, the media is over-reporting all of these like departures as if it's like, oh my God, Twitter's going to totally collapse now. You see this, again, this narrative about, you see, we are excited to announce that insulin is now free. And then you see they went from a stock price of, I don't know, 350s or 360s down to 345. And it said, did Twitter Blue just cost Eli Lilly billions of dollars? Yes. Incredible. Eli Lilly dives after fake Twitter account promises free insulin, takes Novo Nordisk, Sanofi with it. Well, there's more to the story than that. It says here, Eli Lilly stock isn't just tanking because of a satirical tweet on Musk's hellscape. It's tanking because millions of people are asking why we have to pay for insulin when it was made to be free. That's why other insulin stocks are falling too. Happy Disability Awareness Month. Investors fear culture caught up with them. Most people know insulin's discovery was funded with taxpayer dollars. Insulin's cheaper everywhere else. Insulin's inventors sold the patent for $1 to a university because they wanted everyone to be able to afford it. 100% agree with this. Like 100% agree that insulin should be available at cost, at a real cost, and that market should be competitive. Even the Wall Street Journal, not exactly the champion of the people over profit, publicly dings Eli Lilly for its immoral price gouging of insulin. Insulin is a life-saving medication used to control blood sugar levels in people with diabetes. The beatus. Lawmakers who believe it's too expensive have tried to lower the cost. A vial of one of Lilly's more common insulins, Humalog, is $275 before insurance payment. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, if you look up the top producers of insulin, more evidence that investors know how vulnerable the insulin grift is. Any news is bad news because we're all paying attention now. Good. Like, I 100% believe or support these drug companies getting hosed. 100% support it. And you see also a funny story. Twitter manager vomited after Elon Musk ordered him to fire employees. This is like, I don't know if this is supposed to be like an own or something like that, but quite frankly, all this does is prove that everybody that works at Twitter is a lily-livered Nancy. I mean, look, I've had to fire people, and I've said on this channel, if you've been around a long time, it was probably the worst day of my life. And some bad things have happened to me, but because I cared about my team and I knew that I was imposing at least temporary significant strife on them, I didn't feel good about it. In fact, it made me quit the company. It was the biggest contributing factor to me quitting that company a little bit later because it just felt so bad. But here's the thing. You have a responsibility to do your job. And at the end of the day, you're not getting fired. You don't get to have an emotional breakdown. You have to stay strong, and you have to, this is probably like an unfair comparison, but for me, it kind of rings true because I really cared about my employees. I didn't have any bloat on my team. In fact, my team had the least number of cuts. I only had to cut 6 people out of like almost 50 or something at the time. Other teams are making 50 or 60% cuts. But, I cared about everybody. I knew their families. And it's like, you have a duty to be strong there. It's just like maybe when you're at the vet and you have to make that final decision for your beloved pet. Like, you need to be strong and be a rock for your pet, because that's a part of the deal, right? That's the agreement. When you adopt a pet, you take a pet in. They need you to take care of them. They need you in the end to make the right decision for them. It's not that dissimilar for me, because I cared so much about my employees. You could see a Twitter manager yacked in a trash can after new Elon Musk directed him to fire hundreds of employees as part of the company's decision to slash its workforce in half. The detail was revealed in a sweeping New York Times report published Friday that painted a grim picture of Twitter's overhaul as it faces executive resignation, fleeing advertisers, and revenue struggles. It's funny how, again, according to the media, all these problems are brand new. All these problems are brand new and never existed before a week ago. Time spoke with 36 current and former Twitter employees since Musk's takeover of the social media giant, some of whom told the newspaper many staffers learned about mass layoffs via an internal Slack channel where HR and legal teams discussed the impending move 2 days before. One widely shared message on Slack indicated as many as 3,738 employees would be laid off. Employees immediately began saying their goodbyes and exchanging information, the Times reported. One engineering manager was approached by Musk's advisors, or goons, as Twitter employees called them, with a list of hundreds of people he had to let go. He yacked into a trash can near his feet. I mean, doesn't sound like he's made out for the corporate cutthroat world then. Since the layoffs, Musk has scrambled to rein in the floundering company, introducing a controversial blue checkmark. Again, I'm not exactly sure where the company's about to collapse thing. Like, these articles weren't being written about Twitter when they were publicly traded. So it's pretty hilarious. I think it was definitely a pretty big backfire on the checkmark thing. Lesson learned there. I'm assuming we might see some lawsuits, to be honest with you. Not necessarily with Twitter, but that individual user. They'll probably figure out who that was, because the pharmaceutical industry is evil and bad all around. And look at me being all liberal. I think he's going to make a lot of mistakes, but I also think it's hilarious how the media is just, overblowing every single one of them. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.